All right. Last but not least in the digital demo walkthrough here of Simply Focused is the branch manager. Now I showed you the lead manager and I showed you the digital branch, which was basically our website. That's our largest branch. We call it our digital branch. And now what I'd like to show you is the branch manager, which is the back end of the digital branch. Now the branch manager is essentially a content management system as well as an application trends and tracking code trends dashboard. And so I'm going to show you several of the features on the branch manager. If you are someone who is administering your credit union's website already, you've probably heard of content management systems like, oh gosh, my mind just went completely blank. You've probably heard of some of them, such as WordPress would be one that's common. This is, similar in a way to WordPress, although much, much, much better. WordPress is going to have several plugins that most financial institutions are using, and the plugins need to be updated almost constantly. And if they're not updated, you become a bit of a target for hackers, because as those plugins are outdated and there are holes and gaps in their code, those are weaknesses that hackers can get into. So let me show you how our content management system looks and works. This is called Branch Manager. You'll notice that we are tracking the Community Choice Credit Union site here, and these are our application trends. Now this I find to be one of the most powerful features. We can go in and we can change the month. So let's look at October, because we've been looking at October here recently. And you'll notice that what we have here is a visual dashboard of all the leads that have come in based on product type. So we have vehicle loans, style loans, credit cards, and home equity. And in 2016, which our color code shows us here, in 2016, our vehicle leads numbered 230 in the month of October in the year 2016. This year, our lead goal was 219. And the lead goal is sort of set by our sales team. They have an idea of how many they'd like to get during the month based on all the other things that we have going on. Our lead progress was 386. So we didn't quite double it, but we did about, 150% or something of 180% of where we were last year at this time. 386, nothing to sneeze at. The 2016 loan volume for vehicles was 4.8 million. The goal for this month of this year was 5 million. And typically what you'd see is a volume progress line that comes up here. We had a lot going on in October and the volume progress was not coded in, so it doesn't show up here. But that's just something that's entered by our finance team, so we know exactly where we're at in the month. And this is where it becomes really important to track these numbers. If we knew that our goal was 5 million and we were sitting at 3.5 million, let's say it was right here for the month, we could look back and say, well, based on our leads, we have plenty of leads. We should be closing more loans. In which case we would go back into the lead manager. We would search all of the in progress and maybe approved loans, but not yet funded or closed. And we would start working those a little bit more heavily. And in fact, this is one of the strategies that Community Choice Credit Union uses. Instead of boosting their marketing spend, which is what many CUs would do, instead we go back and maybe incentivize loan officers to stay later, to get more people called. We do more follow-ups, et cetera, to get that loan volume up to where we need it and up to goal. And you can see this is across the board. Style loans, we had 231. Our goal was 274. Our progress was 235. And we know what the volume was last year over this year, and then where it should be based on the goals. This is a really, really critical and important feature that we use all the time. Let me see if I can show you a dark bar here. So here you'll see that we had, in November, 194 leads in 2016. Our goal was 178 for 2017. Our progress was 330. Loan volume in 2016 was 4.6 million. Our goal was 4.089 and we were at 4.1. So we hit our goal on vehicle loans. And it goes right down the line. Our vehicle volume progress wasn't as good for style loans. Credit cards we blew out of the water, and home equity we blew out of the water. Now, this again, very important for your sales team to understand where those application trends are coming from, how many leads came in, et cetera, et cetera. The tracking code trends is unbelievably important as well. What we do here is we know that the Unbank Your Ride tracking code has been used 77 times in the last 30 days, meaning anyone who came through the Unbank Your Ride, which for us, I believe is a special domain that we have, and we advertise to that domain. So the domain is more than likely unbankyourride.com. And if you unbank your ride, go to unbankyourride.com, it sends a tracking code that we can go on here and figure out who has clicked through that link that turned into a lead. The slider Move Your Car Loan, very simply right here, again, 61 times this month is, let's see if I can show you. Where did that guy go? I think it was right here. We call this the Move Your Car Loan. I think we had a different tracker. So this is we see this TC equals slider Move Your Car Loan. This is a tracking code. The slider is Move Your Car Loan. And this was from a different slider because this obviously doesn't have the exact same tracking code, but that that slider is brand new. So it may not have a lot of uses yet. Anyway, we have all of these different tracking codes and we can tell where everything is. This 8-002 is a tracking code from a Facebook ad, and we can put tracking codes on Facebook ads, on Google ads, on anything in the content network. And so it allows us to track those codes to figure out how useful it is. Now, this is why this is important. If you've spent hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in a Facebook ad campaign, you really want to know how effective was that in terms of the leads that came in. Were they qualified leads? Did they have a high percentage of book to look? Meaning, if they filled out the application, did they make it all the way through to a closed and funded loan? And so we are constantly tracking the efficacy of all of our marketing spend, which allows us to spend way more efficiently than any of our competitors probably do. You'll notice down here we have things like the email club mailing list, 69,594. We have about 47,000 members. So again, we're 22,000 emails higher than we have members, which is very important. And then we can go through the lead manager stats. So we can show here that there were 40 abandons on the anything loan in the last 30 days, but there were 193 applications, meaning there's an 82 or almost 83% completion rate. We know those abandons because they've plugged in their name and email, but then they didn't finish the process beyond that. Those people we can turn around and do sort of a drip sequence on. We can try and re-engage them in some way. They could be called out if they're a member, so we can look them up and call them and say, hey, we noticed you were on our site. You may have gotten into the anything loan application. Was that something you were interested in? And that is just one more way for us to create member outreach, to create great member service, and ultimately to close more loans. Now, here's what's cool about Branch Manager. I mentioned that this is a content management site. So what we are managing is the digital branch. That is this, our homepage. This is our digital branch. And what you'll notice is that when I go into Branch Manager, if I click on Home Sliders, these are all of the home sliders that are currently active on our digital branch. These are some of the inactive sliders that are hanging out there. So we had this one that was active up until yesterday. And let me show you what that looks like. We had an image. So we tell you exactly how big that image is supposed to be. And this was all about a holiday cookie party. We had cookie decorating at our various branches. And you can see the alternative text says you're invited to the Community Choice Holiday Cookie Party. There is no standalone content page. So this is just an ad. And the tracking code was cookie. So if anyone clicks on that, we know because we have a tracking code on there. Right now, the cookie tracking code is not active. I'm sorry, this is not an active slider, so it is showing up as false as active. So here's the benefit of this. Right now, the Move Your Car Loan is the first slider in the sequence. So you'll notice if we go back to the community choice site and I go to the very first slider, that's Greg riding the little Tykes car there, enjoying the rainbow. But if I wanted to move Greg to number 2 slot and I hit refresh, what you'll notice is that when I go back here and I refresh this site, Greg is now in the 2nd position. This is how easy it is to tweak and change and modify your site using this system. It is literally drag and drop, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that because they get itchy when I mess around with the website. These are very easy to modify. If you can upload an image to Facebook, you can upload images and create active sliders. Super, super slick. This is probably the most convenient feature, or one of the most convenient features that we have. On home features, now the features site are these ads that live down at the bottom. So we have the credit cards, we have the anything loan, and we have the boost your credit limit increase. And you'll notice, not very text heavy, credit cards, anything loan, credit limit increase. We have a little bit of subtext and we have a descriptor. If you looked at these and we edit the reward yo elf this holiday season ad, credit card, the title is credit cards. The subtitle is transfer high interest cards, 0 transfer fees. The copy says consolidate your high interest credit cards into one low monthly payment. The link goes here, and this is our tracking code. And this is active. Very, very simply done. A handful of piece of information, and it becomes an active feature. Again, I can slide these around anywhere I want on that site, and it shows up on the main site at the bottom here. Super slick. Same thing for drop-down ads. Remember when I showed you at the very beginning, all of these are considered drop-down ads. We tell you exactly how big they're supposed to be. So let's go here, become a member. Shows you the image, gives you some alternate text, gives you a tracking code. It is active. And boom, you're ready to roll. Super simple. We can do the same thing with loan pages. We can change the member count. We can tweak locations, which is really handy if, let's say, that one of your locations has a water main leak and you have to close down for the day. We can go in and change the lobby hours, open and close. We can also put an announcement on the main site. It's super slick. By the way, all of these features and functions are mobile optimized. So if you're looking at this on a mobile device, everything will translate to whatever kind of mobile device you're on. These notices, we have active and inactive. We have one active right now, and we have one location notice that's active. So this is our holiday closing reminder, and you'll see that is living right here. All community choice locations will be closed on Saturday and Monday. And if we go in here and we edit this, super simple. There it is. Start time, end time. Is it active? Yes. Save as a notice. And boom, it's on your front page. Could not be easier. We have a careers page where all of the careers are listed if you want to come work for the credit union. Also tracks right back to the main digital branch. This is super slick. We can change rates. So if, let's say, mortgage rates are something that we need to change on a daily basis, we go in and we can literally edit the mortgage rates. If we want to really highlight 15-year mortgages, we just drag and drop those, and that goes to the very top of the page. We can save it. Boom, it's sent out, and every one of your branches sees the rates as they're supposed to be seen in real time. Two other features I want to show you real quick. This unbankers feature is pretty slick. We decided that what we wanted to do was allow our unbankers, what we call our employees, to be able to promote and market the services and products that are available at Community Choice Credit Union. So we're going to go to Nikki Allen, and we're going to preview Nikki's page here. You can see that Nikki is a member service representative. We have her extension there. We can email her through the system. She talks about herself a little bit. And then, are you looking for a loan product? And I'm going to say, I'm a friend of Nikki's, and I'm interested in a car loan through Community Choice. Well, guess what? It takes me right to the login page. Remember, this is the front end of Lead Manager. I plug in my information, but this is what happens. When I plug in my information, the referral code goes to Nikki Allen. And you'll notice in Branch Manager, up at the top here, we have top referrers. Ben Profit's one of our mortgage guys. Chris Punk is our head of marketing. Julian Smith is in one of the branches. Each one of them have gotten one app in the last 30 days. The top referrers for the year get into a drawing for a gift card or a trip to Mexico or some cool thing. And we are able to celebrate and track who does what on an every month basis. We also have this other feature in here that is realtors, where you can go in and add realtor partners or insurance partners or any kind of partner that you may have related to the credit union. But this is the power of Branch Manager. Now, a couple of things I want to highlight. Remember when we logged into Branch Manager first, we saw the dashboard, which is going to load here in a moment. The dashboard is really critical for sort of the daily glimpse at what's happening in the credit union. It's also really important for your marketing people to have access to this, because they're now tracking the efficacy and the success of their marketing campaigns, whether it's a Facebook ad campaign, a billboard, whether it's digital signage in the branch, which we also have some products around, or maybe it's a radio ad that's dropping someone to a specific URL. You can now see how effective all those codes are in developing leads. Now, this is critical to your success as a credit union, because we could spend money in marketing every single month that gets our name out there, and that's great. But what if it doesn't generate any revenue? And that's what really drives the bottom line and our ability to give back to our members. So far I've shown you Digital Branch, which is the front end of the website. This is what Digital Branch looks like, and we have lots of different formats and templates that you can use to create a site. We have Lead Manager, which shows you all of the leads that are coming in on an everyday basis, allowing you to assign them to specific people. And then those people can work those leads according to their pipeline. And then we showed you Branch Manager. And the Branch Manager shows you application trends, shows you tracking code trends. It shows you how you're doing on leads. And it also goes through and will tell you how we're tracking income-wise, not to mention the fact that we can modify our website in minutes, not having to call a web designer, not having to call the graphic designer, not having to have a web manager on staff. Now, should you have an IT person? Absolutely, because those people are going to help you manage all of this kind of stuff. But where you used to maybe have 5 or 6 people, think about this. With Simply Focused, you're hiring a sales manager, you're hiring a statistician, you're hiring someone who can do web development, you're hiring someone that can track and manage the loans and the progress of those loans. It's all done in one simple system that never takes a day off and never sleeps. And this is the power of Simply Focused. So here's one of the things actually, let me give you 3 things we believe. We believe you don't have to be big to play big. With Simply Focused, we're going up against multi-billion-dollar credit unions who could outspend us under the table, and we're winning in lead volume. We believe that you win at member experience through member perception. If you want your member experience to be exceptional, then make the perception that it is super easy to work with you. And here's what I mean by that. If your members or prospective members can't apply for a loan on their cell phone, you're missing out. And we allow you to do that through Simply Focused. And last, but certainly not least, we believe that where attention goes, energy flows and results show. So if your attention is not going to generating leads for your credit union, then you are not growing your loan volume as quickly or efficiently or expertly as you could. But where attention goes, meaning let us help you create attention on generating leads, energy will flow to creating leads, and you will see loan and lead volume. Just one of our partners went from getting 1 loan application on their complete loan form per month. And when we started the dialogue with them, they said, no, we're doing fine. We're doing pretty good. We get one completed loan application per month. When we turned on the lead manager, in the first day of it being on, there were 26 leads in their system. This particular credit union was absolutely tickled pink. So where attention goes, energy flows, and results show. We want to know, what are you simply focused on? Let us help you get this implemented and started. Current install time and the turnaround from the time we sign contracts to getting everything up and running is between 60 and 90 days. But we would be happy to work with your credit union or other financial institution to really make waves. Let's talk. Get in contact with us at simplyfocused.com. You can email me, adam.carroll, Carroll, at simplyfocused.com, or feel free to go to the website and request an online demo where we can walk through your particular situation. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I appreciate your time.